and that's the level I think business is headed toward, at least the people who are posting, is that people do business with people, and people can understand who they're doing business with in a more personal or intimate way than they have in the past, So it's not just.
Welcome to Future Driven. I'm Adam Kopp, and on this podcast, I talk with entrepreneurs and industry professionals about the challenges and the wins in their business. See the vision, drive the future. Welcome to episode 3 of the Future Driven podcast. Today, I'm excited to have Mr. Mark Michael from DevHub. Mark, thanks for joining in. I know I pinged you on LinkedIn and I caught you off guard probably, but I was excited to see all the content you're putting out there. I want to know more about your company and more about you. You seem like an interesting fellow, so thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. It took 38 years to get this good looking, and it helps to talk to really good looking people. So thanks for having me on, Adam.
Absolutely. So we are the Future Driven podcast, my friend. So I want to jump straight into it. And, what is the future for DevHub? And maybe what we should do before you answer that is give us a quick overview of what DevHub is and then what you see over the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, remind me of the first question you led with.
Well, the first question was, let's do the first question. Give us a quick overview of DevHub.
Thank you. So DevHub is a platform used by big brands and or their agencies to build a lot of websites. Websites being anything from a single page to full-blown websites. When you think about it, like an Edward Jones or Benjamin Moore Paint, so typically location is the driver. Yep. But again, it could be like a real estate company with 100,000 agents, and each one of those agents needs their own profile page or website. The ability to basically build a lot on one platform, control brand compliance, roll out promos in a region, easier than you would have to on a WordPress or some other platform.
Okay. And what are the benefits of having localized pages like this?
Again, what happens is, like, if we're focusing on like the location side of our business, a consumer does a local search, they find out they want to order pizza at this specific location, they click order. In a lot of cases, some of the big brands have it figured out, some of the middle ones don't have it figured out, and some of the small ones just don't know what they're doing. But what happens is a lot of times you click on what you found, but it takes you right back to the corporate page, and then you're basically reinitiating that search again. And it's just so obvious that it should be fixed. Obviously, the future of a local page is what we're kind of interested in. One, first off, give the consumer what they want, either hours or phone number or driving directions. One. Two would be the next layer, which would be like inventory. So again, the idea that I'm looking at motorcycle gloves, I find out that this whatever retailer has that motorcycle glove. A, they can ship it to me. B, I can drive there and go pick it up right now. Or 3, I can tie into like a delivery service that can deliver me those gloves. And I think that if the world and the internet goes that way, which it obviously should, then it gives Amazon a little bit of a run for its money, because it drives some of that consumer back into the store, even though the store is more or less just a fulfillment center for a local consumer. So we'll see what happens, but we'll be around for a while just because people still don't have local pages.
Right. So are you tailored towards bigger franchise style companies, or do you work?
I say one, the world over. 2, I think there's about 900,000 brands out there. I mean, we always get caught up in like the Starbucks, McDonald's, Pizza Hut world, because those are like the brands our friends recognize, but there are like so many brands, and they're not always food related and they're not always retail related, but it's like that weird auto shop that's only local to, let's say, the Northwest that has 23 plus locations, There's a lot of brands out there. And then if you take it a level deeper, I mean, basically a lot of the world is driven by manufacturers, at least the way we use the word manufacturers, who are selling through retail, aka a Home Depot, aka the Ace Hardware, aka the whatever. And so we're getting more and more into that world too right now.
So that they can go direct.
Right. Yeah. Or just like, again, sort of like, or what the manufacturer does today, which is give the local store co-op. So like, let's say KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag sold through Albert Lee down here in South Seattle.
Yeah.
KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag can get co-op money from the manufacturer, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, to run that TV commercial. But again, like we all know no one's watching TV. So build the damn landing page and then, build the YouTube ad that maybe you guys would do for them that drives them to that landing page so that they can redeem that offer. And 50% of that ad spend is covered by the manufacturer.
Okay.
And so
cool.
that's the other world that we play in. But again, yeah. And I think that's even bigger than anything else right now. But
so you've got one platform that you guys built, and are your customers? Are you building all the pages for them, or
no? I mean, we can. I mean, most of our customers are, in a weird way, maybe like you. I mean, we always say it's like typically another marketing technology and or agency who's like, I'm working with Denny's. And Denny's doesn't have blank, and it's like, where can I'm not going to build this all on WordPress, or actually a lot of them do go that route first, realize that, holy shit, now Denny, after they just launched, 3,000, 4,000 pages, now all of a sudden Denny's wants to run a regional promo in Washington. They now have to go back through that many 400 locations or 200 locations in Washington and upload a freaking image every single time. It's just brutal, again, but some agencies get away with it because obviously they're able to charge Denny's that. So,
right.
But if it's a smart agency, they would still be able to charge those same prices, but use a platform like ours. The reason why no one knows us is because we're white labeled, which means our name isn't on anything, even down to the source code.
Yep.
So that's what happens.
Cool. So then let's take a step back, I guess, instead of going to the future, and like, how did you get here? Right. So like, did you stumble? Were you an agency before, or
no,
you build
dude.
sites, or kind of?
It's like, I have so many, listen, I'm 38 years old. We've been going since we were 17 years old. I have an article somewhere around here. And
well, you said that DevHub's been around for 13 years.
DevHub's been 13 years. So again, it started off, here's like this little placard right here. All of our, some of our articles from like TechCrunch. Basically, the idea was originally turn the ability, basically it was Farmville, if you remember that, SimCity meets WordPress, aka give everyone one template. Yep. And until they do the thing, they can't move on in terms of building their site. So again, at the time, we figured there was just a shitload of like Hello World websites out there. Okay, I'm going to start this blog, and then people just don't do anything. So the idea was like, either A, you just do the thing, so upload your logo. Until you upload your logo or pay to get ahead, we wouldn't move you forward. The problem was that was built for bloggers, and we didn't get any bloggers. We got a shitload of small businesses, and we had no way to make money off of them by the time the money we had raised started going away.
Yeah.
Really long story short, the reason why I think I can wear sunglasses and even talk the way I do, we just didn't want to be the losers that lost investors' money. I say we raised money from 7 of the greatest kind of angel/VCs between Seattle, LA, New York, and San Francisco. I don't want to duck if I see them at Asagio's or Lola or somewhere downtown. Obviously not with the pandemic. I want to be able to still talk shit. And so my co-founder's been my business partner since we were 17 years old. And we were just like, shit, we're going to be in this for a while. And so when you asked originally, like, how'd you get here? It's like, working with 165 brands and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, like, if I turn this around right there, up there, can you see those black things?
Yeah.
That's every single day documented basically since about 2005 of my schedule, everything that and it's just a shitload of just humping people's legs off, knowing you're right, not caring. I say I live in the land of no. But anyway, sorry, let me go back to the audience. So we built that platform, ran out of money, got a shitload of small businesses. No investor wanted to give us more money because it was like, you said that you were doing this and whatever. So then to keep the lights on, we were doing freelance work like any agency would, going back to the basics, started doing logos, building one-off sites, building apps for people, and basically whatever it took to keep the lights on. And meanwhile, innovating the platform, getting a customer, getting another customer. I actually have it all documented on DevHub's website, devhub.com/history. So that again, like what I hope with documenting everything, and then as well as documenting everything, and as well as documenting on the website. I just don't want anyone to ever take it away like, oh, they built an internet company and sold it for a shitload of money. It's like, no, here it is as true to what actually happened. I don't know why that's important to me, but it is.
No, it's good, man. I mean, documenting is king. I see what you're doing on LinkedIn, and
I don't know.
you're creating awareness, right? And so whether that's to me or someone else, you never know who you're going to find.
Yeah, and I mean it's such a, obviously we're all being told, depending on what you're listening to, of course, content,
Yeah.
and it's so hard sometimes to connect the dots of what the value is. And the problem is it's just so freaking hard to measure. Like we just don't understand. We don't know who we are in front of and who we are influencing. We think we know because something like an opportunity like this to hop on your podcast comes up. But then again, like this last week, it was like a really big one of our customers wants to go bigger with us, and was like, I just want you to know, like, this is like offline, but in LinkedIn's chat, I just love that you love your family. Like, how the hell would they know that without me posting anything, right? Like, and that's the level I think business is headed toward, at least the people who are posting, is that people do business with people, and people can understand who they're doing business with in a more personal or intimate way than they have in the past, so it's not just Mark Michael humping your leg off. Who the hell is this, at that time, in my opinion, kid, versus now it's like they can see it all in 2 seconds.
Well, I mean, look, people want to deal with humans. We're a human culture, and technology is great, but as we get further and further along with technology, we got to stay focused on the human connection, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and again, don't forget, it's like it's up to leaders' ability to empower their people to like not be a robot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I always say, like, basically sell to gatekeepers all the time. So it's like.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Talk about your team. So what makes you a different leader? You've got a team of.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, you hear every speech of anyone that's ever given a speech is like, it's all about the team, it's all about the team, it's all about the team. And it's just, again, like all the leadership stuff that you read or talk about or listen to, it's just really hard to put it in any kind of context when you're just trying to pay the effing bills.
Yeah.
It's like really hard. Like it was like, you need to post more content. It's like, I'm not thinking about content when I'm trying to like make the next payroll. I mean, it's just so freaking hard. So like leadership and team and like all that stuff is like really hard. Like I sympathize. I try, at least with some of the things I post, that like it's sometimes very dry what I post, because I would think, like, if I was a co-founder or founder of a company, I'd be like, I would follow maybe this guy, aka me, because the reality is just not, there's no hype in this. Like, it's fucking boring. A lot of times it's boring. It's me emailing 100 people and like 98 not getting back, one saying F you and the other one saying maybe. And I'm like, yes, like you got to enjoy the life. And so for leadership, for me, the last 3 years, I think has been pretty huge, because I would say, besides raising money back in 2007, 8, 9, we raised just under $3 million, burned that shit in 6 months with all the dumb shit that you would do. Not you, but, people, hiring, like trying to, like, you have money, so you think you have money. You don't realize every dollar that goes out is not coming back unless you go raise more money. And we just didn't want to be in that cycle. And so started basically from zero, laid off everyone. Me and Daniel and one other guy kind of stuck around, let our third co-founder go. And then what the fuck happened? Kept the lights on by doing shit that had nothing to do with our business, but meanwhile innovating the platform and still trying to license the platform. Going back to your question, leadership, again, team. So it's like, as we started to make money in the last 3 years, like real money, we've in a weird way been profitable, but it's pretty easy to do with 3 people and 2 people don't take a salary. I mean, it's just, It doesn't mean shit. Like, it's all just words that people, were profitable since day one. It's like, did you pay yourself what you think you're worth? I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's why it's hard. And there's just so much information coming at people all the time. It's really hard for people to decipher. So hopefully
Do you feel like you're still in startup mode right now?
I mean, I say we are, but then you get slapped back to reality. It's like, you've been in business for 13 years. You're not a startup anymore. Startups are meant for high growth and whatever. It's like, again, that's why I started telling myself that, the first 10 pages of business are written. After that, you're on your own. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I always thought it was awkward. I'm not gonna name names, but people who had worked here before, like, they look up at, like, like a Jeff Bezos or something. Look what they've done. It's like, who the fuck cares what they did? We're doing our thing. Like, like who, you looking at someone else is not going to get you any closer to that, like, because that was their story. And I think, he played it and Steve Jobs, I think different people played it different. Like elements are the same, it's hard work, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, leadership, the last couple of years, what I found in terms of hiring people, because I think anyone can do anything and you can tell pretty quickly. So we have a really weird hiring system, 90 days contract to hire. I don't know if everyone does that, but we do that, just so 1099, 90 days. Yep. And we work it, we just throw them in. And it's like, hey, you can't F up, 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 you can't F up. But if they're just so timid, it's like, that's my job then to be like, listen, you can't get in trouble. This is internet marketing. Like, we're not killing people. We're not selling bullets. Like, we're not doing anything wrong. Like, you can't get in trouble here, but people are so scared because of God knows what in their background or college or, working somewhere else. And it's just like, my boss is like, there's no boss. Let's go, move, implement it.
You're looking for people to come in, try, make some mistakes, learn from them, adjust, and just keep going.
Company building is career building.
Yeah. You'd rather them try something and screw up than
please try anything. No one cares. First off, it's like, oh my God. I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole, but I'll just high level. All those stuff you see people posting, they're on the ink this and ink that and ink that. And there's definitely a time for a place for that. And the Gartner report and all this stuff. None of that shit drives actual business. I don't really care. People can tell you all they want that it does. And there's a time and place where probably it does. But in general, like, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. So, okay. So I get a little bit about your leadership style, and I got my own, I guess, self-assessment that you're an interesting guy who is looking for something, and you're not by the book. You're looking for passion, you're looking for energy, and that's how you've built your team today. But going back really quick, when I said startup mode, like in this latest model of DevHub, how long you've been doing this latest model? Last 4 or 5 years? When I say latest model, is like,
I mean, to me, the latest model is a company that has money. So, I mean, back in the day when we were trying to raise more money after we burned money, one of our investors told me a very significant line that still leaves a scar on my body, which was, what the hell did he say? Oh, I had to look which arm the scar was on. It was, we didn't invest in we did not invest in your idea. We invested in you and Daniel, my other co-founder.
Yeah.
It's going to be you two that fail, not your idea. And I was like, mother. So that was one. That was the foundation. Then the second shareholder, someone told us, once you get to profitability, you can live forever. I didn't understand what that meant either, because there's different levels of profitability, obviously, based on what I talked about before.
Yeah.
But it's true. So this latest version of DevHub, I would say the last 3 years, aka we always knew what we wanted to accomplish and what we're trying to accomplish. We just didn't have the right money. AKA money allows you to, hire the right people, right? I mean, most of the people that are here are new in the last at least 3 years. I mean, there's a couple that we had hired, in year 5 or whatever, that are here still, but most everyone's new. And that's just, what it is. I mean, we're growing. Every dollar we make, we're putting back into the business. What does that look like? That looks like your salary has been the same salary for a while. Like, I mean, you're not like trying to, it's not, I mean, my biggest fear, because I came from a mom and pop background, my parents owned a travel company where the travel company funded, our family's lifestyle, right? But like, where's the money in the bank to make the bet on this marketing initiative or make the bet on this other pivot, and there wasn't any, because the fact of the matter is it was just taken out every single month and or year, and there was nothing. And it was just like, that's not a business. In my opinion, that's not a business. That's just a lifestyle. So yeah, anyway.
So then let's go to the original question that I asked, which I diverted from right away, but what is the future of DevHub? Like, what's the next 5-10 years look like for you?
So the reason why I keep looking over here is because there's, these 4 black monitors that normally have all the logos of the companies we work with and everything.
Yeah.
But something happened with the internet here. Anyway, unrelated. We work with just over 165 brands, from manufacturing to travel to restaurant to whatever. I mean, so many different industries, so many different use cases, so many different data stories of how they're using data to build all these sites, aka data being location information or people information or whatever. And we just brought on a marketing person that is not just a person who posts, but a person who's diving into all the different things that we've done over the years and telling what we hope are going to be 4 very coherent stories for 4 different markets. The first market being location marketing. So these are brands that sell through what we call multi-location brands. That's location marketing. That's that bucket. That's the first one we're working on. Second bucket will be what we call channel marketing. So that's more that manufacturing space, dealer, retailer kind of networks. The third bucket will be business to business, which is other marketing technology platforms like ours who need to build more potentially pages or microsites to help sell their own products. And the fourth bucket is kind of that SMB, kind of coming full circle back to how we started, which is like, people who are licensing the platform to build small business sites for, small businesses, one-off versus like brand compliance stuff doesn't matter for that level, but
Right.
Yeah. And I think each one of those business units, foundationally, I mean, just literally pulling a number out of nowhere. Worst case scenario, 20 to 50 million bucks a year, each one of those buckets. And I think this company is somewhere between what I like to say, like a hedge fund and Oracle, aka I just like the logo of Oracle. That's it. And hedge fund being, we write our own rules, like I see a day where our employees hopefully can make $1 million a year. I don't give a shit. Like, we earned it. And we're private and we can do what we want. And I hope it's an exclusive company that's just known for doing the best work and that we don't lose customers. I mean, once someone launches 1,000 or 100 sites, I mean, it's pretty hard to change, but the reason why they wouldn't want to is because we're constant, and also documented on our devhub.com/history, is us documenting our entire development. Like, we're constantly innovating the platform based on what's happening with this customer, this customer, this customer. Oh shit, this accessibility, which will be huge in the like anything that Google can throw in terms of standards or accessibility, which is a big one now coming up. Like, if your sites are on our platform, we got you for the long haul. When you're ready to integrate inventory, come back. We got you. Let's go. Like, so you're always going to be okay with us, and if not ahead of your competition. But again, we're white label, so it's really hard to tell those stories. We just started getting into that about 2 months ago. So let's do this podcast again in another year. And if we're not double the size, you're like, dude, Mark, what the hell happened? I'm like, I don't know, man.
All right.
All
right. I'm going to put it in my book.
Yeah, no, do it.
We'll do it again in a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things I wanted to ask you was, personally, switching from business side to you personally, what drives you, daily? What is your main motivation? Because you've got family, you've got, work life. You talked about documentation, but what's your main motivation?
It's
Freedom?
so loaded. It's so loaded. I mean, one, I just think I'm going to answer this like 300 different ways. One, I just had the best childhood of all time. Goddamn blessed. Parents still alive. Basically, no one has really died. I mean, there have been people who've died.
Sure.
But like, just blessed, So it's like, at the end of the day, there's a weird element of, while my parents are alive, I just rather just show them how great, in a fucked up way, I can become, while they're here just to say thank you,
Yeah.
They don't need anything from me. They don't ask it. They already think we're huge, so it's like nothing there. On the other end, it's like, I just don't want to be stuck in the middle. I don't know if everyone knows this, and I just really never thought of it. Maybe I've heard it before, but I just, basically, I mean, we're flying through fucking space right now, and it's like either A, do nothing and just enjoy the view, like do nothing, like literally be a hippie, smoke weed, make hemp bracelets on Costa Rica, like find yourself with like freezing water and jump in a river, or like just go for it. Like just play the game, like, but I just don't want to be stuck in the middle. Either or. Zero, let's pretend money was the thing. Zero money or all of it, but just not the middle. I just don't want to be told no. Like, oh, you can't do that. It's like, yeah, well, one, I don't want to do that if I was on that end of the spectrum, or B, yeah, I can do that. We're going to do that too, so
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I like that. All right. So I got a couple more questions here. One, if you're going to write a book in 10 years from now, 15 years from now, whenever you feel like now is the time to, you've been writing a book through various formats in a way, but now you're going to put it in, to the book, what's that title?
I honestly, I've never thought of it, to tell you the truth. It's such a good question.
That's
I
the
have no
idea,
idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
man.
I have no idea.
What comes to mind though?
I mean,
I'm never stuck in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't know to tell you that I always think about doing an art exhibit instead of a book. Like that's just huge. But again, I would be selling every one of those pages in that planner, and like because I also do art. If you go to Glider CEO on Instagram, I would just like, here's an art exhibition of basically my life.
Yep.
And here's all the elements of what it took. Whether that was through writing, whether that was through art, or whether it was my old laptop, my old hard drive, like all of it is still around right now. I have it all. It's in these offices here. Nice. And I would literally just have a room. Hopefully it's a fucking, auditorium at least, or something, something big, where it's like, and everything's for sale. Maybe those pages are each $5, but the old hard drive from 1999 when we started, is something else. And so that's how I do think of it. I see it more as an art exhibition than a book. But yeah, title of a book.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, I honestly, to tell you the truth, I do have 2 titles of books, but they're totally unrelated to everything and totally not in context with this. One is How Girls Screw Everything Up, and one's called How Girls Screw Everything Up, and then the other one was I forgot. The Land of No or something like that.
All right. So, Mark, I appreciate you coming on. I've got one question that I like to finish on the end is what are you going to tell, what right now should you tell your future self on 10 years from now? What do you want to tell yourself?
Honestly, it's the same thing I've been telling myself since I was 17 years old. And it's just keep moving forward, man. Like, I mean, I thank God every day that I just kept moving forward. I just never got caught up in anything, like no scandals, nothing weird. I don't do anything weird. Like, just kept moving forward. Like, as weird as it comes across sometimes to people, as real as it comes across, as every call sometimes you have with a prospect, like, this is the craziest call I've ever had. I'm like, who are you talking to? So you can mind F yourself if you get caught up too much in it. But genuinely, when you live in the land of no, which I do, everyone's like, no, all the time, nothing's possible. This is hard. What about the, all the negatives of what could happen. Like, I just don't hear it. And so I just keep moving forward, keep moving forward, keep moving forward. And at the end of the day, you're just grateful.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that, man.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's hard. By the way, 3 years ago, I've been like, money. The answer to every question is money. But again, it just comes with doing this shit,
What changed? What clicked? Was there anything in particular?
I mean, what kind of clicks is like an extra 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 bucks a month in a salary for yourself, doesn't move the needle much.
Yeah.
Because you still haven't built the company or the whatever that you can. So you don't even want to take that extra money anymore, and you want to reinvest it back into the business. But again, when you're broke, I mean, we were broke for, I mean, in my opinion, like almost 8 to 10 years, where you're paying yourself, if even $1,500 a month. Like, people will never understand that unless they go through that. So when you start making money, you're like, I want it all, you know, and then you start to do that. You start to pay yourself as much as you can, but then you realize, holy fuck, I'm taking it out of the thing that I just spent 8 to 10 years trying to build. And it's like, okay, that was fun for 3 to 6 months, but now you need to, like, all right, let's build a business, you know, let's go. And so you have this opportunity. It was because of your own hard work. There was no luck, you know. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff. But again, it's just more noise in the fucking world. I mean, it's like, I sympathize with anybody, you know, that, yeah, I mean, they have to just figure it out themselves and just go through all the motions and be like, oh, that's what Jeff Bezos was talking about. That's what that person was talking about. You have to be happy or find your passion. It's like, oh, that's what they were talking about. I mean, that's the hardest one for people to grasp, because it's like, I mean, if you're really into screen printing, yeah, I'm sure there's times where, more times than not, that you think it fucking sucks. But then, like, at the end of the day, it's like, but you get to work for yourself. You get to work with maybe your friends, you know, you get to create the designs you want. Like, you have to find that joy. Like, to me, the joy is like, you know, like back when the world was open, you know, it was like, I loved going to client dinners. I loved taking our team out. I love doing all that stuff. So you got to figure out what that is for, you know, you as an individual. But
Cool. I like it. Well, Mark, I appreciate you coming on, man, taking the time in your busy schedule and sharing a little bit of knowledge from us or to us. And I look forward to our podcast in a year from now.